Start recording. All right, so let's say that you want to make one of these edge lit lamps, or you want to make anything else where there's like a design, like a graphical design in that's laser cut into something. I can hear someone's like music in the background. Cool. So, thank you. So, if you wanted to like put an image onto the laser, then you need to do something that is called turning that image into a vector. Now, without going too deep into detail with it, a vector is a really smooth line, right? It's a line that is not made of like little pixels, that's little dots. It is a line that is perfectly smooth. And no matter how big or small you make it, it remains a perfectly smooth line. Now, thankfully, we have a program that can do that really easily. It's called Inkscape, and it is free. And if you'd like it, all you need to do is go to a search engine and type in Inkscape, download and install that program. And then open it, and it'll look like this. The second thing you need to do is to find an image. Now, the best kind of images are ones that are like lines. So black and white works really well, and really high contrast. Images like this do not work very well, right? With laser designs and things like that. You want think things like logos, line sketches, stuff with really clear lines. So once you find an image that's like that, right, it doesn't necessarily have to be black and white, but really strong lines and really high contrast is good. Once you find an image that is like that, right, I have here, you're going to need to save that image. And you would save it somewhere intelligent. Me, I'm just going to be lazy and I'm going to save it in my downloads, right? So now that I've got bananas downloaded, I need to go over to Inkscape and I need to go File, Import, and then I need to find bananas and click Open. And it'll open this little dialog box. You don't need to do anything here other than click OK. Right, there are our bananas. Now I might zoom in a little bit. So we can see that as we zoom in, they get quite grainy. So that tells you that that is not a vector, right? If it's not smooth, it's not a vector. To make it into a vector, we come up here to the top where our toolbar is and we click Path. And we go down to this option, which is Trace Bitmap. Now, Trace Bitmap will open a little window here. And we're going to actually, first off, we're going to leave this exactly as it is. And we're just going to click Update. And that's going to give us a rough update of our banana. Now, what we're looking for here is that it's captured all of the detail that we want and that it hasn't missed anything. We can also maximize this so that we can get a little bit of a better sort of look at it, right? So this has missed some of these lines in the middle, right? Now, if we care about that, we can change this value here, which is our brightness threshold, right? And that will include, the higher the brightness threshold is, the more of the line stuff it will include. So I can go up and up and up and up and up, right? Now, I've got these extra marks on the outside that I don't really want either. So it's a bit of a compromise between getting the detail that I want and not getting detail that I don't want. So I'm going to turn the brightness threshold down until I just try and get what I want. And there we go. So I've lost a little bit of detail through these bananas, but I have got rid of those bits on the outside, so I'm happy with that. So once I'm happy with it, I click OK. And then I can actually close this. And what I've got now are two copies of that drawing. This one on my right, that's my original bitmap. See how it's all grainy? And this one over here is my vector, which is really, really smooth. So if I'm happy with that, I can actually delete my bitmap. And now I've got my bananas. So from here, I go Save As. And I'm just going to save that as bananas. And the file is an SVG. So we go Save, and there are our bananas. So once we've got our SVG, we're going to go back over to Tinkercad. we're going to go to, you can either go to create new design, or if you're already working in a design, then you just go into that design, right? And we wait a little bit for it to load up. All right, so once we're in Tinkercad and we've got our, sort of design space up, we can click on import and we go choose a file, and we're looking for that banana file that we just created. So that one that's an SVG. So here we have bananas. We're going to go open, and we're going to click import. And this might take a little while, right? And the more complicated your image is, the longer it might take. So that didn't take too long because it's just bananas, right? If it was a crazy, intense sort of like image with loads of lines, it'd take way longer. So there's our banana. And this is just like any other shape in Tinkercad. You can click on it, and clicking on it will let you change its size and its shape and all of those sort of things, right? Now, if we want to make this, if we want to engrave this onto a shape to be lasered, then we need the shape first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick in a box, and I hope you remember that when we're lasering things, that those things are usually 3 millimeters. Whoop, that's wrong. They're the maximum size that we could sort of work at for like a big piece of acrylic like this. We're going to stick to 150 by 150, right? That would be our sort of maximum size. And our material is 3 millimeters thick. So we need to make that material 3 millimeters thick. Now, once we've done that, we need to use our bananas to cut out the design that we want. So we turn those bananas into a hole, or whatever the shape is. I'm going to hold down Shift to make these bananas bigger. Now remember, we hold down Shift so that everything stays in proportion beautifully. And now that we've done that, we can drop our bananas into our design. And I'm just going to change my view to make sure that everything's in a spot, as I sort of like it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm just turning it over to make sure that that shape's actually going to cut all the way through. All right, and then we can highlight all of that, combine them, or group them together rather. And what that will do is that will cut those bananas out of that piece for you like that, right? And when I get this sent to me, what I can do with the laser is I can tell it, I want you to cut out the square, but I want you to engrave this shape here, so that it shows when the light shines through it. Now, the last thing you need to do, once you've got this ready and you're happy with it, and it's got all the details on it you want, whether that's words and stuff, whether it's, other shapes, whatever it is you like, you're going to click on that finished object and you're going to go export. And then we're going to pick this option down here, which is for laser cutting. So that's a .svg. And it's going to think about it for a little while and sort of do some stuff in the background. And eventually, once it's ready, it's going to open this dialog box. Now, remember that when you save things, I want them to be saved as your name, what it is. So this is a lamp acrylic. And if you've got a preference for color, then you can pop that in after. Now, at the moment for the laser, we've got, I think we've got a little bit of leftover transparent purple. We've got some transparent red, and we've got, or I'm getting some clear. So those are the only real options that we've got at the moment. If you're making something that's not supposed to be see-through, we also have black. So that's an option for you as well. So once we've got that, and we've given it an intelligent name, we're going to save that. And then we would take that and we would upload it to our learning task, so to the major project. So up here, and we'd stick that into the major project. And once I have that, I can do all of the laser things on my end, and you'll have that piece ready to make.